And welcome to the Talon Outdoor Show. I'm Charlie.
Yeah, you are.
I'm not. I'm feeling.
I'm JD.
Anyway.
Slow deep breath. Slow deep breath.
I'm Fred.
I'm Captain Paul Tire.
And I'm Grant, kind of afraid
Just,
what's about to happen here.
I know. I'm just. Welcome to the Talon Outdoor Show. I'm Charlie.
I'm
Is that
JD.
better? Yeah, there we go. I'm sorry.
Tighten you up.
Man,
Stop looking at that. Just leave it alone. It's
well, I
good.
just
We
got
have
a ton
radio
of crap going on, and then I'm ready to walk out, and I got a 3-hour drive in front of me and some stuff to do. And JD calls and, hey, are we recording the show today? I'm like, not to my knowledge.
Y'all
we're
the
not.
ones set this. I didn't even know.
I don't know anything about it. But
Captain Paul Tire, the most honest man in the room.
I was
No
here. It's
offense,
on my
Grant.
calendar.
Paul walked into my office at 3:30 and said, "You ready to do the show?" And I'm like, "Well, huh? What?" So y'all made these plans not in my presence last week.
well, you better be glad you called me because I was fixing to hop in a vehicle
I
and
know
go an hour
because
the
of our
other
previous
way.
conversation. You said
Yeah,
something about
I
having to
got
go to
somewhere to go.
Madison.
Yeah, so I'm still going to Madison when this is all over
I hate
with.
that
I'm
for
just
you. I'm going home.
It's going to turn into a 3-hour drive after closing time, and
Oh, boy.
I'll be back home late tonight. I might not show up tomorrow. We got stuff to do. We got rehabbing one of our classrooms down at the range. About got that winding down, and we got so much going on. And just had a meeting with our fine bank president and our new relationship manager. What is that name right there? That looks like Stuart Chardonnay. Shan Dranette.
If you say so.
He's a relationship manager, our new relationship manager, Prime Meridian Bank. So it's when your bank president and your personal relationship manager, your new banker in the bank that comes to your office to talk to you, that's community. That's banking right there. That's when they come to you, you are either in a heap of trouble or you are worth their time. And that's what I like about doing business with our bank is we are worth their time. And so
he's a relationship manager?
just don't pick on him. Just leave him alone.
I'm just wondering if he could help.
He's a
I'm
fine
having
young
some
man.
problems with the wife. I'm thinking that
Well, my
me
son
that.
is
Give me
my
that.
son is actually an assistant relationship manager. He is learning to be a relationship manager. He's a junior relationship manager, so that's going to be his job. What that young man was in here.
maybe he could help my wife
might
with some
could come-
problems with her assistant.
He might could see.
There you
Get
go.
it
She
worked
having
out.
trouble with her assistant? I know she's
All
having
right.
trouble with your sorry butt, but as far as
I
at
asked
the
her this
office?
weekend. She must have asked me 5 times this weekend, "What is wrong with you?" And I'm like, "Why do you keep asking me that?"
That's a
You might
really
wanna know.
long. I mean, what is wrong with you, Fred? Is she really prepared for that answer? Is the
here,
question.
now here is a serious question, Fred. This is serious. I want you to answer this. So when she says it, does she go? Let me finish what I'm asking. What's wrong with you?
No.
Or is what is wrong with you?
It's more
That's
of
the one I
the
get.
latter. It's
Okay, if it's
more of
it's
the,
what is wrong with you, then
it's the wrong.
Then she has finally determined that she probably made a mistake in the beginning with this mess.
What do you mean
And
finally? She determined that 30
I
years
married beneath me. I finally dawned that I
There
married
is,
beneath
there
me.
is
and
no
I-
reparation for
and
that
he-
situation.
And all my efforts to fix him have gone
Totally
astray.
right.
And that's just, I mean, I have
Lost cause.
It's just,
Yeah,
I mean, I
yeah.
get called like the other day.
Or it's funny to her, which I suspect is the real case. Because why would for her to stay with you, you have to make her laugh on a regular basis.
I think she's immune to it. I mean, she usually that question, what is wrong with you?
She has a
is,
charitable soul.
is followed up by something along the lines of a declaration like, "You are a sick little man." Yeah.
Yep, it was the latter of the two. There's no true, genuine caring in there. It's not. What is Fred? What is wrong with you? No, that's if she cared.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: is if we can make our spouses laugh, then they'll stick around. If now, it's different if they're laughing at you
I think it's the at.
or with you.
There ain't no with.
I keep my wife laughing on a regular basis because she gets my sense of humor, and so here lately, and I have refused to subscribe to Disney Plus just when they went woke a while back. I said I'm just not going to do it, but I keep getting these Ted Lasso things on my Facebook thing, and I kept watching all of them. And I said, I want to watch the Ted Lasso series. And if you hadn't seen it, I highly recommend that you watch it. So I subscribed. Well, I got the 7-day free, and there's no way I can watch it all in 7 days. Cancel, but I subscribed to it for that. It's like $8-9 a month or something. It's worth it. And then, my wife and I have been sitting there watching 3 seasons, I think it was, and we're almost through the 2nd season right now. And that fella makes me change the way I talk to people sometimes. I mean, it's just, I get it. It's funny. We sit there and laugh at some stuff, I think it's funny. I kind of chuckle a little bit, but every now and then she'll laugh out loud over there in the recliner. Of course, I never know if it's the phone video she's watching or the TV she's watching, because she got 3 things going on in her head at one time, and I don't know which one's paying attention to what. Just as soon as I think she's not paying attention, she was paying attention. And what I thought I was going to slip by didn't slip by.
Didn't work out for you.
But
know
anyway,
what
that Ted Lasso
is.
thing is funny. I'm telling you right now, that's funny. They take a Midwestern guy, a football coach that achieves some success, and they ship him over to England, and they put him over a soccer team or a football team, and it is
Football.
just funny. It is funny.
Or he gets kicked in the head. I'm looking at it.
It's like I said, it's a
Like he was an American football coach.
it's
He got
intelligent.
sent to
He's an
coach the soccer
American
team?
football, like collegiate football coach, and then they ship him over there. The owner of the 2 rich people got divorced, and the wife got the soccer team, and the husband doesn't like it, and she's trying to get back at him. She's trying to destroy the team, so she hires this American football coach to come over there and take over, hoping that it fails. And then obviously it's the whole rom-com
so Major
thing
League.
where,
So like Major League, except not baseball.
yeah, pretty much. And
Hey,
it's,
man.
Yeah, soccer's a
it's funny. I
Euro
mean,
sport.
they're a bunch of drama kings.
Yeah, they are.
or
A bunch.
whatever,
I mean,
because
they
they
get
get hit
stub their
fall
toe
down.
and they fall down and start crying, and then 2 minutes later they're
The
back
women ain't. That's why
No,
I like
they're-
women's soccer, girl soccer. They're rough, and they get up and get up and get after it.
Rapato or whatever her name is.
She's done.
So I'm
Yeah.
watching some city league soccer over in my hometown, and with a couple games where our kids played against another team, which is typically how soccer games go. And but the other team, there's this kid over there he is just awesome. I mean, he's a go-getter. He's a little kid, and he gets banged up a little bit, and he's a heck of a player. I mean, he's giving it all he's got, but he'll get hit, banged up, fall down, and get hurt. I don't mean like, oh, boo-hoo, I'm hurt. I mean like he's hurt. Jumps back up and goes at it again. Well, what does the coach do? I don't let him play. He wants to play. He's a tough little kid. Mom's over there talking about, I told you to take him out. He's hurt. Don't let him play hurt. And the dad's over there just twiddling his thumbs. Like, I got to go home with her. And he's a tough-looking dude. The tough-looking Jackson County dude driving a big 4-wheel drive, jacked-up truck. Obviously he's the alpha in the relationship, and this poor kid, I mean, he's out there just toughing it out. I mean, he's a solid kid, and my wife is over there. She needs to just hush her mouth. I'm like, don't
start nothing.
do it.
Don't start nothing.
Because me and him are just gonna make eye contact and shake our head and go, let's make this look good.
Is she one of them women that doesn't take the cigarette out of the mouth before
No,
she tells
it's not like that. This is an average, fairly attractive couple, just squared away. Just that she obviously
She is the
helicopter
outspoken one.
parenting.
Did you hear her
Now
say,
my wife is on the sidelines yelling at my son. Now my wife, first thing she does, learn all the other kids' names and encourages all the kids. Good job, so and so. Good job, and then she yells at my son. Hurry up! Go harder! She's trying to push him to go harder because CJ's not my boy. He's not. He's no speed demon. He's very smart, but and he wants to play. I'm trying to get him to play real football because he needs to get the snot hit out of him a few times so he can understand what that feels like. He really needs to get hit a few times, not with a fist, but with.
Well, he could play on the Knowles team this year. He might get hit a few times.
I mean, he'd be good at something.
How about them Knowles? Man?
Jeez. Don't
Duke?
even-
I mean, really?
I have never seen so many drop passes in a single game in
I'm
my
going to
life.
take up soccer now. I mean,
Yeah, they might as well take up soccer. They ain't got no hands. They
I'm trying
can't
to
catch
find
the
a
ball.
second favorite team so I can cheer for somebody.
It's awful.
We'll be right back. And we're back. Oh man,
That
y'all
was a
missed it on the
punt.
break. That was it. Yeah,
So we're talking about Trump and the fries.
yeah.
You know,
The-
it dawned on me as I was watching that. She said that she worked at McDonald's back when she was in college. Now, back when she was in college, she was a practicing Hindu. What are the chances?
Can't touch the cow.
Yeah, what are the chances that a Hindu's working at a hamburger restaurant?
Don't know.
I would say that's pretty slim possibility. I'm sure
Don't
there
know
has
anything about the
corporate
faith.
records. Corporate
Oh,
records.
they don't eat cows. They
Well,
That's right. I think.
I don't know. So
No,
again,
cow's
don't
a
know anything
sacred-
about.
I don't know.
it's a
anything.
Don't
sacred
know
animal.
don't know anything about the faith, but I'll Google it while you're talking about
a
something
cow
else.
is a sacred animal in the Hindu religion. They
Yeah.
will not eat a cow.
I've always heard that.
It's a sacred animal.
Yeah.
I think they maybe reincarnated as an ancestor or something along those lines.
That doesn't sound wrong. I think you're onto something there.
But
If I
would
remember right.
Isn't that kind of like a Baptist working as a topless bartender? I mean,
Or just in a liquor store
I mean,
at a dance hall. I mean, there's all kind. I can make all kind of Baptist jokes. I are one.
Yeah, me too.
well, I kind of wanted to envision the topless bartender, but
Of course you did.
His name's Bob.
my
So
luck-
so here you
my
go.
luck it would be.
In India, 81% limit meat in diet, and 39% are vegetarian. And Hindus may also avoid eating beef because cows are traditionally viewed as sacred and part of the family. So to them,
Yeah.
it'd be kind of like eating a dog. They're part of. I consider my dogs part of the family. I wouldn't eat one just not
They're
because
eating
it wouldn't
the
be
dogs.
nutritious, and it might even
They're
taste
eating
good.
the cats.
I'd eat a dog.
They're
I'd
eating the
I'd eat a dog if I got
I'd eat a
hungry.
cat. I'd eat all of it. If I'm hungry enough, it ain't nothing sacred.
They're eating the dogs.
Have you seen that billboard?
I've
Where do you draw
I've
the
eaten
line?
coon.
And there's everything.
Yeah.
A bunch of dogs and cats, and then they have
Rabbits
they have a rabbit, and then a horse, and then stuff that everybody would eat. And I'm like, well, if they'd move,
Well, who wouldn't eat
if
a
they'd eat
rabbit?
that rabbit over there, then actually, I'd eat the horse too because
I have, and it wasn't all that
good.
good. I'm pretty sure that's what I had down there in Costa Rica when
Gave you a
they went-
horse?
my wife and the girls, we were all down there, and they went shopping, and the guys went. I can't remember. We went fishing, and they come back to the house with some meat, and it was supposed to be filet mignon.
Filet min horse.
Filet. It didn't look like no filet mignon I had ever seen. It was round like that, but that's about where it stopped. And I cooked that stuff on the grill, and it did not taste like any
Tastes like
beef.
hay.
It did not taste like beef. I don't know. I don't know if it was monkey or
It was
or,
meat.
or- it was in fact meat. But I told them, I said, if this is cow, I'll get somebody's rear end. It's just not cow.
Was it rare? Or
No.
was it tender?
No. It was just. It was not.
Well, it wasn't no filet
I-
mignon.
I cooked it. They brought it back in a package, and I cooked it. It didn't look like beef going on the grill nor coming off. So,
It was an impossible mignon.
yeah, it was. It wasn't near about red enough to be beef. I don't know.
Ooh.
I think it was one of them. They got a bunch of some kind of water buffalo or something that they pulled carts and stuff with.
Could have
It
been a zebra.
Looks like a cow, but it ain't.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but it was.
I had a
it-
buddy of mine shot a
wasn't
zebra one time. He said the worst part of it was trying to miss a jockey. That's just what he said.
I don't. I won't eat horse again knowingly. It's just not. But rabbit now. You talking about rabbit?
Rabbit's pretty good.
I like rabbit.
Now, you got to clean them right after you shoot them.
I used to eat rabbit pretty regular when I was a kid. I did a lot of rabbit hunting.
There's a bunch of them out in Texas.
Well, them big old jackrabbits.
Yeah, big old
That's
rabbits.
a different critter altogether. I don't want
I
none
mean,
of
they'll
that.
come out of there and start beating you up if you miss them.
They're about your height.
I know it.
You see eye to eye with them.
Scare me.
I'm talking about cottontails. I used to give the rabbits a fit when I was a boy.
You know, we didn't see any rabbits out in South Dakota.
Yes, we did.
I didn't.
You may not have been nowhere to see them. They got
Billy, JD shot one out there.
He did?
Yeah, it was like fleas and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
on it.
I was gonna get it and skin it out and everything, and I was walking back to the bus with it.
A rabbit had fleas?
Jesse's like, "You ain't putting that thing on the bus," and I'm like, "Why not?" He goes, "Look," he said, "pull the fur back, look in there," and that thing was covered up with bugs. That was
Really?
fleas all over.
They don't have
He
harsh
was proud.
collars
He
out
was
there?
proud of himself for a minute. He was all happy.
No, I
he
had
shot
every
that big old
intention of
thing.
skinning that thing, and
How on earth does he get? You would? Are they all like that? Or
I don't know, but he said check it good. It's probably covered up with fleas, and sure
Well, the
enough,
fact
it was.
that he knew it was means they're probably all like that.
Yeah,
'Cause
that would be my
Otherwise,
guess.
he wouldn't have said nothing. But he didn't want that on the bus.
that would explain that itch I got last time I got home.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we leaving for up there right quick. Like when
Yeah.
We're leaving on the 6th. He's leaving
Yeah.
on the 7th. He's flying.
Yeah, it's the
He's cheating.
7th. Yeah.
You
Yeah,
need to
that's
be up
right.
there. We hunt 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Yeah, I'll be up there on the 7th. I get in somewhere around 2:00, I think.
he's gonna get on one of those big old jet airliners and
Yeah,
fly
you
right
know-
on up there and go hunt.
I
On
had
the-
a girlfriend that used to screw the words up to that song.
I don't know any ones other than the ones I just said.
And she's right. Big old jet had a light on. And I'm like, what?
I reckon you could see it.
or the, I'll never be your beast of burden. I'll never leave your pizza burning. And I'm like, what?
Well, that's just funny.
She's from South Carolina. She didn't get out much. I mean, it was,
Now, that's
I
all
will.
I'm
I
gonna
will
hear
hear
from
that
now
next
on,
time
yeah.
I hear the
Yeah.
Rolling Stones
That's
sing
all
that.
I'm gonna hear from here on out.
you'll be singing it tonight.
We messed some words up to some songs up there in South Dakota.
I don't know anything about that.
We got a country music.
I'd like to get
we-
my hands on a little notebook of yours with those lyrics in it.
Well, this
some
year we have
blackmail.
we
You
have
had
a
like a genuine dude.
real country music up and coming country music artist coming.
I'll listen
on
to some of his stuff. He's good.
Yeah, it's very good. David Lewis.
Yeah.
I think
He's got that.
find him
Got
on
one
the-
song that Cowboys don't wear skinny jeans.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm gonna like this guy.
he's coming on the hunting trip with us. He's coming up from Texas. So I'm looking forward to all that. He's
Have
got
you-
some radio appearances up
I
there.
guess he's bringing his guitar.
Yeah, I would hope so. He's going to be on the radio up there live
okay.
on some radio shows, do some guest appearances on some radio stuff, and yeah. I'm
So
looking
when are y'all
forward to it.
pulling out? Is you pulling out on Wednesday or
Wednesday? Yeah, the 6th early.
Okay, so
I'm
I need
gonna try to
get-
be at Charlie's house in Mariana by 6
So
his
I'll-
time. So that's 7 our
So
time.
that'd be the 5th.
6th.
Yeah, but I need to get my stuff
do
over
that.
here.
That's
Yeah,
it.
cool. Yeah.
So we want to do a shrimp boil again this year? or-
Absolutely, we
All
want
right.
to do shrimp bowl again. Mr. Bobby Williams is going with us. He's got a beer keg cooker. So
Okay.
remember last year our shrimp
Yeah.
bowl was really full to the top.
Oh, yeah.
I'm bringing a beer keg with a cooker and all that stuff to cook the low boil in, so we can make a big pot.
All right. Well, I'll get the shrimp. We've got to get the shrimp bowl stuff that goes in it.
Yeah,
Hopefully they'll have some Brussels sprouts.
Brussels
up there.
sprouts.
Y'all thought I was
I
crazy.
thought you were absolutely insane putting Brussels sprouts in low boil.
And
I'm like,
they-
what?
That week
good.
when we cook crawfish, they put Robert put mushrooms in there,
Yeah.
and it carries it's really good flavor. Now, when he puts all that in there, the corn
So
on the cob
spicy will
soaks up. I don't know what it
Set
is.
you on
just
fire.
soaks up all the spice, and it is a challenge even for a guy that likes spicy food like me to eat the dadgum
You look
corn.
like Angelina Jolie with those swole up lips.
Yeah.
All red, swole up. Oh, look at
Last
them
time I
Angelina
saw
Jolie.
lips like those, they had a hook in them. You know.
All that. What's wrong with you? Got a hold of some hot corn.
There've been some good oysters out there over the last few weeks. There's a bunch of good oysters coming out of Louisiana. I don't know where everybody else is getting theirs, but I have eaten half a bushel of oysters a week for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, I brought oysters last time, and we didn't get into them.
No, didn't. I don't know what happened with that, but
Time.
ended up bringing them back. They were good when we got back, though. I can tell you that.
Cold. It's cold outside.
It was cold that night. And what's the weather going to be? Are we going to have snow or?
I haven't seen.
400 mile an hour
We're
winds
still a little bit out. forecast wise, I think. But I've been seeing here. I can pull it up right now. I got
And
it
that
programmed.
wind knocked me over 2 or 3 times.
Right now, it only goes to the 7th, so that's the day we get there. High of 56, low of 31, 7% chance of precipitation.
As
So
long as it's
probably
not blowing like crazy, then that doesn't really matter. As long as you,
Yeah.
I mean, it was always frost on the windshields in the mornings.
Yeah. It's this time. Yeah, I think it's the coldest we've ever experienced up there was 15.
Yeah, I don't do that. That just doesn't mesh with me.
Well,
Pretty cold.
I might have to get Charlie to cuddle up with me.
He can put you in his coat pocket and carry you around like a puppy.
And he can name me George.
You will freeze to death before you get a cuddle out of me. Because I don't drink that much anymore.
I don't know about that now. Hold on a minute.
There's been a few lies told about me over the years about where I woke up.
Lit elf, too, or-
You always know when you get that look from him. It's like this pause, and he gives you this eye look before he's going to say anything. And it's like, I'm about to get my butt whooped over here.
Yeah. There's a line. There's a line with me. I got a dry sense of humor. I got a good sense of humor. I like to be funny all the time, but there's a line.
Yep. Women need trade places.
So y'all planning on?
I won't do anything that will hurt you long term.
No permanent disfigurement.
You might regret saying what you said for a moment or two. Probably. It's kind of like my dog in that shot collar. Yeah, all I need to do every once in a while is just pop her one time, and then she remembers. Just keep that in mind.
All right.
And we go to a break on that. We're going to come back, and we're going to cut his mic off and go, well, Fred has left. Fred has left the building. We come. I do want to.
How many of them shot collars you got?
I had 4, got 3 now. 'Cause my wife ran over one with a lawnmower the other day.
How did that happen?
Somebody in my house didn't put it on the dog tight enough. They just kind of slung it on her, and then she went outside and came back without it on. And it was just outside the yard into the edge of the pasture. And we bought the new lawnmower, and my wife got out there mowing. And I said, well, let's kind of expand the yard a little bit. And she did. And then she come in and goes, I found a dog collar. She said, really? She goes, yeah, you're not going to be happy. And so there it was. And I said, well, was there anything left? And she goes, you don't want to see it. And I went, well, there might be some usable parts. But she was right. She put it on the grill, and there is nothing left.
That's kind of like Mr. Rainey Oven bought one of a nice Microtech knife, and he called me up one day and he says, these Microtechs got a lifetime warranty on them. I said, yeah. He goes, I'm gonna bring this one in and let you look at it and see what you think. And I said, okay. And he had run over it with the lawnmower, and I said, yeah, I don't think they're gonna warranty. I don't think they're gonna warranty that run over with the lawnmower Microtech there.
You never know when you need tape measure.
That's right. That's pretty cool there.
And it clips to your thing.
Red eye.
Yep.
All right.
Bottom of the hour. 5
Fly reel.
minutes.
Fly reel
measure.
tape measure. That's pretty cool.
In 3, 2, 1.
And we're back. How long was that tape measure on that keychain out there?
Well,
How long is it, Fred?
I've never got it all the
that's
way.
some centimeters.
Centimeters?
No, you got
Can't be,
centimeter. You
what,
got
a
inches.
foot long, something like that?
I think it might be 2.
No, man, that
Look
thing.
at that. Look at that.
40
I
inches.
bet that thing won't go back in. Now he pulled it all the way out. That's all.
Hey.
That's when somebody goes, Fred, how tall
That's a
are
fly
you?
reel.
He pulls it out and goes. Anyway, so hey, we got a thing going on, a GSSF match going on in Dothan at the Talon Range of Dothan on November the 23rd and 24th. So that's coming up next month. Keep it in mind that is a Glock competition. We just want to remind everybody that if you want to sign up for the Glock Sports Shooting Foundation shooting match, it's only requirement is you show up with a Glock and some ammo. And you don't have to have a Glock or any ammo. You can come in and rent a Glock from us if you need to, and obviously we'll sell you all the ammo you want. It's a really cool fast-paced match, but you shoot a phase, and then there's like 3 stages, and you take your time. You can watch other people, and you literally can walk up to the table with nothing but a Glock in a box
And some bullets.
and some bullets.
Eye protection,
and,
ear protection.
Yep. And then shoot and move to the next stage, and you can enter in as many different. Every Glock model has basically its own.
Well,
Can you claim a handicap?
you have the 9mm stuff. You got the.
Oh, is it just 9? I thought it
well,
was
it's the
compact
the
and-
19, the 17, and the 45 are all in the same
Okay,
one, and then
all
the little guns, the 43X 43 is a different category, and then the
Okay.
10mm 45 is a different category. But they got a bunch of different categories. If you're a military law enforcement, there's a category for you.
Right.
Senior citizen, there's first-time Glock shooters. There's all kind of a lot of chances to win a
What
gun.
about
They
short?
give away a bunch of guns, and you don't have to win a gun. So
They
you
don't have
can
a
just
short person.
No, sorry, Fred.
they just stand you next to the table so you can see around it instead of over it. But anyway, that's a good. If you're interested in that, the just Google Glock shoot
GSSF.
Yeah,
That's here.
GSSF, and in Dothan.
Oh, it's in Dothan.
You obviously weren't paying attention
No,
to
I
the whole
wasn't.
thing I was saying.
No.
The
I've been in Waukalla all day.
But you can go to their website, and you can go to schedule, scroll down, and you'll see the one. It's the Southern Classic, I think is what they call that, and it's called it Midland City, Dothan, because technically that's our mailing address up there. But look for the one in Midland City on November 23rd, 24th, and you don't have to be there both days. You can show up and shoot either or. Typically Sunday afternoon, they all start packing up to go. But yeah, come on out, bring it, and you can come and watch. You don't have to. You do need to sign the waivers and do all the processes to be on the property. And if you plan on coming and you haven't been to the range before, I would encourage you to call the shop and tell us you want to come to the event. We will text you a link to the waiver, and you can watch the video, do the waiver process, so when you show up, you can just come onto the property and not have to worry about jumping through a bunch of hoops.
Are they going to do one here?
We do one every year here.
Been doing one every year since we've built the range.
Yeah.
When is it?
February usually.
Okay.
Usually late February.
That's a good time.
We've been doing that one a long time. This is the Dothan one. This is the first one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can't call it the first annual. 'cause it's
Southern
not annual yet.
Alabama
Yeah, you
Regional
gotta,
Classic.
You got to have it 3 times in order for it to be annual.
Yeah,
The
well, it was
one here
definitely an annual for here. So, the first one we hosted here, they packed us into the schedule, and somebody backed out, and they did it in July.
Yeah,
Oh,
that would not.
It was brutal.
Oh,
It
man.
was 109 degrees in the shade.
And humid.
And
The
they
people-
came. We had a huge turnout, and they came back later and said, "Yeah, y'all okay with doing this a different time of the year? We would prefer that." So-
That wasn't
and they
our
basically
choice.
said, "When do you want it?" I
Oh,
said,
yeah.
"The nicest weather here is late February to April, somewhere in there."
That's
So-
right.
Oh, it's been nice here lately.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
been
it has.
beautiful. Loving it. Cool at night, warms up in the daytime, but
Oh yeah,
I'm digging it.
enjoy it. I was up in Charleston last weekend. It was even cooler.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what happens. The further north you go.
Oh yeah, it does. I was playing golf on the thing on the golf says, "Do not harass the alligators," and I'm like, they actually had to print that on the scorecard.
We'll be right back.
I'm from Florida. I understand that. I
That's for Yankee.
Yeah, that was. And I was at getting my golf bag, good clubs, and all that stuff. And some guy comes up and says, "You played this course before?" And I said, "Yeah, 2-3 times." And, any advice? I said, "Yeah." 2
don't
things.
harass the alligators.
1, do not use expensive balls. 2, if your ball lands next to the alligator,
Leave
let
it.
it stay there.
Leave it. Let him have it.
And he's like, "There's alligators?" I said, "Yeah, they're all over the place." There's probably
Is it on the coast?
yeah, it's
Right there in
it's
Charlotte?
right there on the coast, and it's
Or in
got all these
Charleston?
little inland things, and it was during a king tide,
Oh boy.
and so they were. I mean, everything was out and about, all kind of stuff, and it was chilly, a little cool out there.
And we're back. Go ahead.
So on the break, we were trying to come up with something intelligent, remotely interesting to talk about, and
That's always a stretch for us.
That's
So why don't we talk about something people actually want to listen to?
Paul suggested we talk about the upcoming election because it is fixing to happen. So yeah,
and I'm feeling better every day about that too because it's starting.
Well, I am. We have some amendments in Florida, some of which I am very much against, and some. But I brought up that there's an amendment, Amendment 2, in Florida, that is about hunting and fishing. And man, I tell you, I don't know how y'all feel about it, but I am lean towards always voting no on any amendment because I don't like changing the Constitution, and I would rather the powers that be in our legislature make the laws. That's the way it was intended to happen. I don't really like popular vote making constitutional amendments in general. But what do you think about this one, Fred? You're the legal expert on the panel here. What do you think about Amendment 2, the hunting and fishing thing?
Well, one, I like the idea of hunting and fishing being a fundamental right, like speech, like firearms, like
right.
I
agree.
Right to be free
Wholeheartedly
from
agree with you.
illegal searches and seizures, those sort unreasonable searches and seizures. The way I read the amendment, not only does it do that, it also creates a presumption that management be achieved by hunting and fishing.
Right.
So wildlife management, that is that would be the primary method of management, which if you have ever managed wildlife on land, you know that is the best.
Absolutely.
And most effective.
It's the most effective way, and not in places we see this in the big northern states where they don't really like hunting and fishing or hunting specifically. Right. They're objectable to that, but you end up with these neighborhoods that are just overpopulated and infested with deer, and then they have to hire professional people to come in there and wholesale eliminate herds and giant herds of animals.
You're not picking off the lowest
the way I read
selective.
this, correct me if I'm wrong, the way I read it is that if it passes, it simply enshrines the right of people to hunt and fish in the state of Florida. It enshrines it in the Constitution, which means that the legislature can't go back later on and ban it.
Right.
But it says FWC is not curtailing their authority to regulate it the way they regulate it. So it doesn't change anything. It just says that if the Democrats take over one day,
which is a possibility,
they can't do away with hunting and fishing.
But to what JD was saying, I mean, he talked about we're seeing to some degree, at least in the Northeast and Tallahassee, you got a lot of these people that have not hunters and fishing that have moved in as Northeast section has grown, and now you got all these deer running around.
Yeah.
And they're not healthy deer.
No, they're not.
But I don't think this constitutional amendment is going to make it okay to hunt in Cloran Lakes.
Yeah. I don't think
because that's not.
I don't necessarily think it but when it becomes and if it becomes much more of an issue and a problem than it is right now, somebody's going to have to do something. I mean, I see it every day in my neighborhood. I live on an acre lot, and during the hurricane, the last hurricane we had, I walked out at night to look at the weather and turn the lights on, and there were 13 deer sleeping in my front yard.
That's because you feed corn to them, JD.
I had been out of corn for weeks. I hadn't fed them at all in the yard, and they were sleeping in my yard, and it is literally, it's like dodging. I don't even know driving in and out of my neighborhood has become it's
dangerous.
It's dangerous. I mean. And I'm careful, and I see them way before most people do. I see them when they're out in the woods, where most people don't see them until they get on the white line.
Yeah,
and it still is. It's I don't know how many near misses as a family we have had going and coming through the neighborhood.
But it's too tight a neighborhood to be shooting deer in that neighborhood. You'd be shooting across property lines. You'd be, and I don't even think it's legal to shoot in those small lot line places up there.
I don't know if it is or not, but there's enough vacant space up there, enough green space up there that and I don't know what the answer is, but I know that the problem is that there are too many deer in too small of an area, and
the distance from a residence. I want to say, because I read it last year, got out in the yard with a tape measure trying to figure out where I could sit. And,
I've
Well,
got three
I mean-
or four vacant lots across the road from my house. I know that I'll probably be okay there. But I'm not. I mean, I
You
don't.
can't shoot across the right of way though.
No, you can't do that.
Well, I wasn't
And hit a
planning on.
deer.
I live on a private street. It ain't
Yeah.
no right of way.
But I mean, if I could sit on my
Back porch.
and there's if I had a crossbow or bow,
The only problem with bow hunting, so you can do that silently in neighborhoods, but most of the time when you shoot something with a bow, you're gonna have to run 200-300 feet at least to find it, and that's across the property line. And you're out there trying to drag something weighs as much as you do across the neighbor's fence.
My luck, I'd shoot one in the front yard and run over there and pile up in my neighbor's front porch.
what would
Sorry.
happen if I did that? My neighbor would run over, grab the deer, and get him in his house before I could ever get to him. He'd be in there skinning the thing.
Well, like
Well,
I said,
that's
I'm not necessarily advocating for wholesale open hunting season in my neighborhood. I'm just saying there is a problem, and it's eventually it's going to have to be dealt with.
But your neighborhood, it backs up some of those plantations, and those need to be deplenished or depleted. I mean, there are too many does in the Northeast right now.
Well, there's too many does on my farm right now. I mean, we get depredation tags when we're growing certain crops, but the thing is there's still that many deer. We can't get them
Florida
this
has traditionally not done a good job at managing their deer herd, and they don't do a good job managing their deer herd because it is so hard to figure out how many deer because our woods are so thick. It's not like in Pennsylvania or New York where they can ride around and do surveys and figure out how many deer you have. In Florida, you can't get to places where the deer live, so they don't have a clue. I think our deer population in Florida, in a lot of places in Florida, is way bigger than anybody thinks it is because there's
What
it's
they
so
need to
thick.
do is get a census and stick it on them deer crossing signs, and maybe they'll.
Sign up.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, it's just it's there's you're right, Charlie, over there where you're at, and anywhere there's agriculture, there's just huge numbers of deer, and they cause problems, and the herd becomes not healthy because of it. That's the downside.
They're
to it.
skinny, and some of them are got
and most of your
mange
depredation efforts are what in the world?
What on
Most
earth
of your depredation tags and most of your depredation efforts are made towards hogs because we have such a huge hog problem.
Yeah.
And then people don't. Hunters, they go out and just slaughter hogs right and left and don't think twice about it. But when you go out there and start doing that to deer, we like to hunt deer. We want quality deer.
Well, the way Georgia,
and you don't want to waste the meat. It's like people shoot hogs and just leave them laying.
the way Georgia does things with their tag system is, I think, exponentially better. Now, Florida has a call in and report your whatever, but their limits are much smaller. Georgia gives you 12 deer a year now. 10
12
does
deer.
and 10 does and
Yep.
$2 when
That's
you
right.
buy a Georgia license. I
But
just
you
bought
got
mine.
all season to kill the does.
Yeah, you can
versus having
anytime
3 days.
any day of the week, when hunting season's open, if you want to take a doe for the freezer, you knock yourself out, whether it's opening day or the
That's a
last
lot of
day.
meat.
So to
Yeah,
me,
I mean we generally speaking as a family, 4 or 5 deer put in the freezer, that feeds us for
What
the
do you
year.
think
That's
would
all I'm
happen
gonna shoot.
if you opened up a market where you could actually?
Sell it.
you can't do that.
Well, they back in the day there was such a thing as market hunting, and it led to led to almost the extinction of ducks, ducks and shorebirds back in
Which
the market
is
days.
why they don't do that.
Which is
You
why they
can't-
don't do it anymore.
And you can't
You
sell.
couldn't
You
do
can't
it.
sell
But there's
venison.
Ducks. I mean,
But there's
yeah.
probably a happy medium somewhere. That was a zero regulation, and you just
Okay.
go kill whatever you kill because there was a you could get money for it. It happened,
I wonder if
back
you
there
could
in the
sell
Depression.
2 a year, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, most people they're raising deer that are non-indigenous to this area, and there's certain things you can do, but you're not going to sell a white-tailed deer. You can't do that.
No,
I
I know you can't, but I'm just wondering what would it do if you could?
I don't know, but I think that there's a lot of free deer meat passed around every year for
Yeah.
people.
Yeah,
If you want a deer, all you really got to do is find a redneck and say, "Hey, man, bring me a deer this year." He's going to bring you a
Yeah,
deer.
You get you a deer.
It's.
He'll stop what he's doing. and get
But
you.
I wish they would change it to where I had all season to take the does that I could take, so that I could try to shoot the big buck,
And
and
that's
when I
exactly
couldn't, I'd
what I'm
finish up
talking
at the end of
about.
the year.
That's exactly
We'll
what
be
I'm
right
talking
back.
about.
talk about fishing. Paul?
Heck, I'll tell you what, they biting. The fish have been biting. The crappie are biting good. Had a trip today with Mr. Steve Potter from Waycross, and man, we went out there and we caught about 30
Some
crappie.
big ones.
And yeah, you saw I showed that picture. Some of them were good ones, but I was out there yesterday and I thought, man, there ain't gonna be no wind. We've been having the wind blowing, the current's been moving, and I thought it was gonna be kind of slow today. I was asking the guy if he might want to push it out a little bit, let that water temperature get a little cooler, and he said, no, I want to come. So I'm glad he did. They were biting them, but it was hazy all day to like 1 o'clock when we was coming in.
Yeah.
Couldn't see from Booster Club across to Spring Creek.
It's
At 1
foggy,
o'clock today.
Foggy or hazy or whatever.
Hazy, foggy.
And they're telling what kind of atmosphere stuff going on.
But man, I tell you what, so Seminole, the bass have been biting really good too. We've been catching them on frogs and on buzz baits, and now the chatter baits and spinner baits and crank baits are starting to pick up. They're really feeding up now for that that colder weather coming. And I know Fred.
Yeah,
I guess
so
at 1 o'clock in the morning, he sent me a picture of this young man.
That's not going to come. No.
Don't open it, Paul. Don't open it.
I woke
At
up
1 o'clock in the morning,
I was
if
like,
Fred
what is
sends you
this?
something, do not.
It's going to be a guy sitting on a couch. So there's,
There's the trauma involved in opening that photo.
My wife said, "Who was that?" I said, "Oh, it's Fred."
Oh, Lord.
it came through at 1. I did not send it at 1 o'clock. He always does.
But show that picture.
All right, so this
Talk
is
about that kid. That's awesome.
It was a kid that lives in the neighborhood, and don't go there. And that I let
downhill in a hurry.
Yeah.
that I let fish there. I mean, he's been fishing there since he was.
Yeah, you told us about it.
Yeah.
He caught a big one last year.
Yeah, he got a personal best. He got a 10.22.
Look at see what the JD. Look at that. Look at the size of that fish.
Ooh,
And he's back in there.
that thing's fat.
There you go.
And
That's a big one.
so anyway, I was pretty happy for him. This is a kid, and I don't have his parents' permission to say his name, but this is a kid that he must have been 5 or 6 years old. He walked down, he knocked on the door, said, "Can I go fish?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely. Just throw everything back." And he said, "Oh yeah, I always do that." And he worked all summer long and earned money mowing lawns. Bought me a Bass Pro gift shop gift card.
Wow. Man,
just
that's
for letting him fish. I mean, that is
congrats to the parents on that.
that's-
that
I'm
kid.
Very
There,
well
that's-
raised kid.
just
Yeah,
a
that's awesome.
well-raised, and he's
And now
always
he's
so
got a
polite.
place to fish for life.
That's right.
He does. He does. And so I tell him, anytime you want to go, just go. And he taught his little brother to fish down there. Just good, wholesome family.
Yeah.
I just like to see that.
That's right.
Clarn Lakes,
That's
where I
right.
live, there's about 6 or 7 lakes up there, and I see the same little group of boys, and I just think it's awesome. They're on their bicycle with their bass rod, headed to Lake Monkey business. Driving by, riding their bicycles, headed to Lake Monkey business.
It's just good to see that.
Man, that just does my heart so much good.
We had a young man that went and climbed a fence and fished and caught some bass off one of the plantations that we patrol.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went and sold them in the neighborhood. And the word got back to us that he was climbing the fence, trespassing, fishing,
And
selling the fish.
all
and so we went up there and found his bicycle and his fishing poles, and he took off running.
Oh.
And so, being the good Samaritans we were, we hauled his bicycle and all his fishing stuff to the nearest dumpster or the farthest dumpster we could find and threw it all away. So not all these kids that come and fish on your property are squared away.
Well, this one is. I mean,
And then we set up game cameras to try to catch him the next time. See how many times that'd run him off. So yeah, that's I live in a different world.
but when I was taking flight training, learn how to fly an airplane.
You know how to fly an airplane?
Yeah.
That's scary.
That is scary.
Yeah,
I've ridden in a truck with him. It's really scary.
so,
He's scarier than you.
so one of the skills you have to learn is equal distance turns around a point. And
Right.
after you get that one down,
It's called a circle.
yeah, but you got to keep the same distance.
Well, it's a circle with a center point. Yeah.
Yeah, but then you have to learn how to do it on a moving point. So, I got my flight instructor, and we're working on that skill. And I'm over in Quincy, and I see a kid on a bicycle going down a dirt road. So I dropped down 1,000 feet. Thought, well, okay, I'll start turning around. So I'm turning around. I go about 4 or 5 times, and you see that kid pedaling, he's looking up behind him. He's pedaling, and he's looking up behind him. Next thing you know, he throws that bike in the middle of and runs into the woods. That bike was stolen, man. That bike was stolen. That was hot.
Did he have a fishing pole and some fish?
I don't know what he had. I don't think he had
If
his.
you go up again, I'll give you an address.
I don't think he has. Didn't think he had lunch in him by the time I fooled around 4 or 5 times.
Now, see, the difference between that feller and me when I was a kid is I probably would have got my .22 rifle out and went and shooting at you.
I think this one might have had a firearm, but he would shoot it with his hand kind of cocked.
All right, so let's just go on record saying do not shoot at
Don't shoot at airplanes. The
Any aerial
helicopters.
platform might be following you. Don't shoot at drones either.
Don't point a light at 'em.
Don't shoot up into the air in a celebratory fashion or in a defensive fashion, unless things kick off the deep end, and then do what you got to do.
Well,
they
you see a
actually
short ball guy as a pilot. It applies to you too.
they actually have issues, a lot of issues in Leon County. I didn't realize it. They arrest people on a regular basis for shining lasers up at the
Yeah,
at
that's
the sheriff's
dangerous.
helicopter and all that stuff. Yeah,
But I mean, they can blind the pilot, and
Yeah.
bad things can happen.
Blind spot damage the equipment. There's
Yeah.
because they're looking back with very expensive thermal or infrared equipment, night vision that you can damage with that, and that stuff is not cheap.
Oh no!
I mean, it's
Hundreds of
expensive
thousands
enough
of
when the stuff we sell, but the stuff that mounts to helicopters, that's some high dollar stuff right there.
Well, anytime you helicopter, just go ahead and add another 1,000 to whatever it is,
on the helicopters.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty expensive to
There's-
operate.
just to maintain the doggone
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, very very high operating.
Well, I will tell you that I think that the helicopter aviation programs in law enforcement in the coming 10 years will go away.
Really?
yeah,
Because I
drone-
think they will be replaced by
technology.
drones. The
Really?
drone the cost, the training to fly a drone is not terribly difficult. The cost of a drone is a small fraction. You can put thermal, you can talk through these things, you're videotaping, you are sitting in a central point. They're finding things are just different. I look at Jackson County. Okay, my sheriff over there, Donnie Edenfield, he has a helicopter.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, and they have a contract with the state, and they do certain things with the helicopter, and they have a pilot. But when somebody runs away, they have 2 things that are different. They have a canine unit that is mostly tracking dogs, not bite dogs.
Right.
They have beagles, and they find everybody. I mean, because they put 3 or 4 dogs out there, and they go and track it like an animal.
Yeah.
There's no, shepherd trying to find somebody, and all. It's just go, and they catch everybody. And what they don't catch with the dogs, they have on patrol. They have thermal
Yeah, you got
camera
thermal.
drones,
Yeah.
and they're throwing those drones up, and they've got people trained all over the place to do that stuff. And between the drones and the dogs, if you're in Jackson County and you run away from law enforcement, if it's anything other than a misdemeanor, you're gonna get caught.
Yeah.
I mean, they catch them they catch all of them. The numbers of people that since he's been in office and implemented those changes, you're gonna get your butt caught. You
Have
don't
you
run
seen
from
the
law
new-
enforcement over there.
Have you seen the new sheriff's search and recovery vehicle they got? It's a Jeep, like a Jeep pickup truck. It's got a drone launching pad on it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, well, that's
I
Makes
ran
sense.
into a grocery
Well, you look
store
at
the other day.
the use of drones in the conflict, in the military conflicts around the world right now. They have just in a matter of a really short period of time, everything from little bitty drones carrying a little bitty piece of explosives to
Oh yeah.
big stuff. The use of that, it's technology. It's same thing I said, and I was really wrong. I said probably 3 or 4 years ago. I made the prediction. I said you won't see law enforcement agencies that don't have holographic sights on their pistols within 10 years. Every law enforcement agency on the planet is going to be using red dot sights on their pistols. And I was bad wrong because it's way less than 10 years, and they have adopted that super fast, and it's better technology.
But I will tell you this, and I've seen this recently in a training environment, just sticking a holographic sight on a pistol and thinking you're going to be better is a terrible thing.
No,
to do.
there is
You've got to train.
There is definitely a learning curve on
Yes.
it. But it is once you have achieved that process,
then you can't beat it.
then it's a better much better system. It is what it is. And I was, like I said, I made a prediction it was going to happen. I was just really wrong on the timeline. It's happened a lot
if you were going to purchase a pistol with a holographic sight or put a holographic sight, you need to get proficient. You need to budget about what you spent on that equipment on ammo and go
learn it and
shoot.
train it.
And you need to train correctly, not just go out there and plink.
Right.
You need to be drawing from the holster, presentation, a lot of dry firing, a lot of stuff, a lot of work to get it right, which is why I don't carry one.
Yep.
Well, see y'all next time.
My dream is called Hellfire.